What's up everyone? Welcome to Wingnuts RC. In this video, I'm going to go over some tips on how not to get gotten on Marketplace. I've gotten a few times, so hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. What we have here is my Traxxas Drag Slash. I'm sure you guys have seen this if you're subscribed already. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to build this channel, so hopefully I can just make these videos and get paid for it. I'm not going to sit here and lie. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to launch a lot more content, and I'm trying to, anything you guys give me in your comments, I'm trying to incorporate that stuff into my videos to make you guys happy, because in the end, if you guys are happy, I'm happy. So what we have here is my Traxxas Drag Slash. I got this on, I got a four-wheel drive or a two-wheel drive off-road Slash a while back on a trade, and I had it on my shelf. It worked pretty good. I can't complain about it. It was a pretty cool rig. I beat the crap out of it and I took it, and I wanted to build a Drag Slash. I really wanted one, but I didn't have the extra money to go out and buy a new one because they're pretty salty. So what I did is I got on Marketplace and I put a post up. I had a Traxxas Nitro Fortec, one of the old school ones. It wasn't running, but it was complete. It was in pretty good shape. It had the original body, and I put a post up that I wanted to trade it for, a crawler, Drag Slash, listed a bunch of different things. And a guy hit me up about an hour, 45-minute drive from my house, and he had pretty much everything I needed. So he said, to build a Drag Slash, and he sent me pictures of it. It all looked good. He had a really cool Phantom motor, ESC. It was a Castle ESC, he said, and he said everything was brand new other than the electronics. So I ended up working it out with him. I met him at a Sheetz, gas station, lots of cameras, local spot. That's one of the things you always want to try to do. And the guy seemed really cool. He had a Volkswagen, and we talked about that. It was like 500 horse or something to the wheels, boosted, and it was a pretty gnarly car. So we talked for a good while. He seemed real cool, and I left there thinking that I made another friend in the hobby. And then once I left, I realized that he got one over on me pretty good. Basically, what I have here is, I got the low center of gravity chassis. I got all the parts. I got, here's a bunch of extra parts. I got everything to build the Drag Slash, so I'm happy with that end of it. Where things went bad is when I got home, I realized, so to start it off, I guess he forgot the motor. It was a Phantom motor. It was a very expensive drag motor, and he forgot it. As we were there in the parking lot, he called his wife or girlfriend or whatever and was like, hey, is that motor on the counter? And she verified it, and he's like, oh man, I forgot it. He played it off very well, and he told me, give me your address, text it to me or message it to me. Now, I found this guy on Marketplace, so we were communicating through Marketplace, through Messenger, and he told me to send my address to him, and he would send the motor to me. He would pay for it because it was his mistake, and I trusted him. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and whenever I went to leave the parking lot, he had me blocked on Messenger. His profile was blocked. I couldn't get a hold of him. His name was like Pounds or something, and I couldn't get a hold of him. I messaged a bunch of my buddies that are in the hobby that sell parts, and they said they knew of the guy. So I could track him down or whatever, but I'm just going to count it as a lesson learned. And it didn't stop there. I realized that he stole a radio out of the back of my Jeep. It was a Red Cat radio and receiver that I had taped together. He stole that. He told me that it was a Castle ESC, and turns out it's not. He told me it was a Castle Sidewinder 3, which is a pretty good ESC. And it turns out that it is not a Castle. It is a Red Cat Hobbywing. So it's an RTR brushless ESC. It still works pretty good. You know, it's still like a $70 ESC, but it's not a Castle. I was really excited to have a Phantom motor and a Castle in this thing because it would have been, you know, it would have ripped. And yeah, he got one on me like pretty good. So not only did he steal stuff out of my vehicle, but he also conveniently forgot the parts, the motor, the most expensive piece, lied to me about the ESC, and because I was trusting, I thought dude was cool, and yeah, let my guard down and he got me. So that's how I got gotten. With that being said, I've kind of put a little list together in my head of different things that you guys should do if you're on Marketplace and you're trying to get a good deal on some used parts. First and foremost is if they message you, check their profile out. You know, click on there, check it out, make sure, you know, they're not some crazy person or that it's a fake account or something like that, because chances are if it's a fake account or if it's a recently created account with no content on it, it's somebody either scamming you or you're walking into something that, you know, they could rob you or whatever. So always use caution there. If they do check out and they do look like a real person, always go to a public place. Go to somewhere that has a bunch of cameras. Like in my area, we have a bunch of sheets. Sheets are covered in cameras. It's a public place. You go in there, grab some food, whatever, hang out, wait for them. And usually they have a big parking lot so you can test your cars out, whatever. And usually they don't mind. So always go to a public place, somewhere with cameras. Then if something happens, like in my situation, if I wanted to be that guy, I could have called the cops and they could have reviewed the camera, pulled his license plate, because when he pulled in, you know, the back of his car was facing a camera, and I could have tracked that guy down. He was on video stealing stuff out of my car, as well as I had all the messages saying of what he was supposed to give me versus what I had. So I could have gone after the guy. I chose not to. I chose to just, you know, count it as a lesson learned, and he got away with it. I did, however, you know, I reached out to a lot of people, so his name is now dirt in my area, and a lot of people that he also got over on, they were on a group chat talking, and, you know, it appears that this guy does that to a lot of people, so at least now people are warned about him in my area, and they're using a little bit more caution when they deal with him, I guess. So yeah, definitely public place, cameras, make sure you check their profile out. If there's a situation where like they do forget something, or if you do another deal while you're there, like say they didn't bring something but they find out that you need it and they're like, oh well, hey, I have one of them, you know, $50, I'll send it to you. Make sure you get their address, their phone number, verify that it's their phone number, you know, whatever you got to do. You know, definitely feel the situation out and get as much as you can to be able to contact that person once you leave there. You know, I didn't have this guy's address, I didn't have his real name, I didn't have his phone number. So once I got blocked on Messenger, I was up a creek with no way of getting a hold of him. You know, granted, I have a lot of friends in the community, so it wasn't that hard to find someone else, because this guy does no prep drag racing, so he's constantly buying and selling stuff with that. And one of my buddies, he actually, as like a side hustle, he strips these cars out. He'll buy them on Marketplace and completely part them out, stuff like that. So he knew the guy, and all that. So I was able to, you know, I know who you are, I know where you're from, I know how to get a hold of you, but we're gonna let it go. So that's another big thing, you know, make sure you can get in contact with them if you need to. It's also, you know, it's good to have a person's contact if you buy something from them, because if you run into an issue, you know, maybe they had that issue, you know, obviously they had that product before, so they're familiar with it. So, you know, it's nice to keep in contact with people like that. Also, you know, in the hobby industry, I have, you know, repeat people that, you know, on Marketplace, I'll have something listed, they'll come up and, you know, trade, buy, whatever, and 6 months, a year from now, they'll message me like, hey, I got this car, are you interested in it? Or, hey, I've been looking for one of these, you wouldn't happen to have one or know where I can find one, would you? So, I've made a lot of contacts through Marketplace and buying and selling RC cars. And that's one of the cool things about this hobby is once you make that contact, it's just, it's a branch of people and connections and contacts and whatever. So definitely, get the person's information, make sure you can get a hold of them. If they seem weird about giving you that stuff, there's a reason for it. If they're willing to meet up with you and do a deal to get whatever parts, you know, there's no reason they can't give you their information so that you can get in contact with them. So definitely, read the person. If something's off or seems off, chances are something's off. Um, Beyond that, there's a lot of stuff on Marketplace of people trying to sell stuff that seems too good to be true. They want you to send the money, they'll send it to you. Make sure you do it through a creditable account, like a PayPal or something that will stand behind it. Like if you don't get your product, they'll reimburse the money. They'll take the money back from them and put it back into your account. Um, don't just send them your credit card. Don't send them a gift card. It seems simple to say that, but you'd be surprised how many people fall victim for that because the scammers are good. Like there's been a lot of Harleys and older Fords and Jeeps and stuff that I've seen on Marketplace that, to be like a $20,000-$30,000 car they have listed for 15 grand. 15 grand still a lot of money to people. So, it's not like it's a light flashing that it's a scam because they have it listed for $500 or something. They're getting good with this. They'll put up a bunch of pictures, a sob story about how their husband passed away and it was their bike and blah, blah, blah. And they want you to put money down because they have another guy coming to look at it. Maybe 2 days into conversating with the person, someone else comes out of the woodwork and wants it, and that happens. I've had that happen on a ton of deals. So they take advantage of that. They use things like that to make you feel more comfortable with the situation. And if you're not careful, they'll get you. So yeah, if you're on Marketplace and they want to do something like strictly, like you send them the money, they send you the product, definitely use something like PayPal that will track that and get it back if need be. And even in that case, try to get as much information as you can, see if you can call the person. Get a video of the product so that they actually have it. All that kind of stuff helps. Any way you can verify that the product's there. Sometimes people, they'll get annoyed and say that you're being paranoid or whatever, almost in a sense. But at the end of the day, in this day and age, there's so many people that scam people on the internet. It's easy for someone to sit behind a computer and steal your money. They're not face to face, and chances are you're not going to find that person, even with going to like the law or something like that. It's hard to track somebody down. Most of those people are fancy or handy with a computer, so they can cover their tracks. So it's best to cover your tracks before anything happens. So that's pretty much like what I have now. I don't want to ramble anymore on it. If you had a situation where you got gotten on Marketplace or, dealing with somebody that you didn't know in the hobby, comment down below. Let me know what your situation was. If you have anything to add to it, any precautions that you take. I guess another one I just thought of, if you have your carry permit, definitely, take a sidearm with you because you never know in this day and age. You could show up to get, $100 piece, and because of them knowing that you have $100, people in this day and age will rob you for that. And, unfortunately, some people will literally kill you for $100. So it's always good to have some backup. Take a friend with you. Definitely take a friend. Don't go alone, whether it's like your old lady, your buddy, whatever. Take somebody with you. That way you have a witness, you have backup. If something happens, someone's there to help you. You could even take it as far as to put a dash cam in your vehicle and, make sure that it's pointing where it needs to be. If you're in a real bad area, that's another thing. If you're not familiar with the area you're going to, Google image that stuff, Google map it, whatever you call it, where it brings the satellite up. you know, punch the address in and look at the surroundings, see what's around it. If it looks sketchy, you know, ask if they can meet you somewhere else. You know, find another area that is more public and safer and easier access to, so that nothing happens. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up now. I don't have anything else to add really at this time. So thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. I'm trying to build this channel so that I can hopefully do this as a full-time gig, just YouTube, and get paid to play with toys all day. So if you like what you see and you want to help support, hit the like, subscribe, comment down below, click the bell so you get notifications, and see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.